Yo guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Coming at you with just something a little bit different here. I usually rank jersey concepts or jerseys in general, logos. That's kind of my genre of things. But someone sent me some wallpapers, and specifically playoff team wallpapers. So every single team that's been in the playoffs, which is a total of 16 teams, and so excluding the play-in, just the actual first round of playoffs. Someone sent me 16 different wallpapers to look at and kind of rank. So I've ranked them, and I want to show you guys my ranking. See if you agree, see if you disagree, whatever. It is a subjective process. There is no right or wrong, but some of these are pretty good. Some of these I really love, and I want you guys to see them. So the designer here is, I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I've said your name probably over 20 times in the history of the channel because you've won contests in the past, actually. An art contest, a drawing contest to be specific, but it's either Yanni or Yoni. Again, I apologize. I always get it wrong, but thank you so much for submitting these, and let's get into it. So, like I said, 16 teams, and if you know who's in the first round or who was in the first round of the playoffs, then you know which teams these will be. Starting off with number 16, I put the Chicago Blackhawks. So, the biggest problem I have here is the quality of stripped photo of the players. It's extremely blurry, and I think it's been up-resed. So the contrast between the blurriness and the out of focusedness, it looks out of focus. It's actually not. It's just because it's blurry and up-res. And the background, which is completely in focus. Obviously, it's a design versus a photo, and the photo is there's too much contrast there between what's in focus and what's not, or what appears to be in focus and what's not. The background is also extremely, extremely busy, so it's almost a bit hard to look at. I think this looks actually pretty decent from a distance or small, but once you blow it up or once you get up close to it, it kind of fails. So if you're making these wallpapers, just be completely aware of the quality of image that you're using. You want to make sure that you're using the highest quality as possible. Number 15, I put the Vegas Golden Knights. So kind of for the same reason, but in reverse. So in behind, it looks like maybe that's a close-up photo of like the arm patch of the Vegas Golden Knights, how it's gold and kind of sparkly or flaky, but up-resed, and it doesn't look out of focus. It looks pixelated or something. So I find that a bit distracting. It's not a typical pattern in the background. It looks fuzzy. The actual rest of it, though, is not too bad. I like the kind of gray outline around the player, and then there's a white one, and there's a red one as well, so that's kind of cool. And then the playoff font actually kind of adds some dimension because it's in front of one player and behind a goalie. So I do like it, but the background kind of is a miss for me. Number 14, I put the St. Louis Blues. And kind of for the same reason the first one, the quality of Riley, or the photo of Riley, is quite poor. I can see the pixels. I can tell it was up-resed. And I don't know, I find it so distracting, it ruins it. It's also quite busy with all those notes kind of floating around. There's also different shapes. There's kind of almost an octagon shape, or like a circle or something kind of coming around. And then there's like the lines coming down on the left. And there's just a lot of different things going on. And the circles of the top of the instrument and stuff. So there's just a lot going on for this one. Number 13, I put the Dallas Stars. So again, kind of quality of image a little bit. This one's definitely better, but there are definitely some question marks here. The cutout of the player is not that great. It could definitely be improved. It's a little harsher. I can see like the roundness of the brushes that you've used around the edges to kind of cut them out. The nose is kind of cropped off a little bit. But I do kind of like the concept of that, almost like an ooze or a slime kind of coming down. That's pretty cool to match, obviously, the colors of the Dallas Stars. Number 12, the Carolina Hurricanes. So I like the idea here, because you're taking that logo that they use or used to use. I guess they don't use it anymore. They use oh no, that's right. I didn't even see the bottom flag there. So you are taking the secondary logo that they use and kind of splitting it and having Sebastian Aho coming out of kind of the background. The problem is there's not much depth there. There's no shadow. There's not really any dimension going on. The stick kind of is almost see-through through the font. So, and then the empty space up on the top left I just feel like it's missing something. So, number 11, Calgary Flames. Really like this concept. Again, the photo is quite blurry, and the cutout isn't that great, but I really like kind of the direction of where this came from, coming out of the Flames, celebrating. And the Flames themselves are a bit pixelated as well, but I really like the idea here. I really like the concept. Number 10, the Washington Capitals. So it looks like maybe there was almost like you took the brush and you kind of like painted in some fake clouds or something or whatnot, but it almost looks dirty and not really in a grungy way, almost like you got chalk on it or something and didn't wipe it off or didn't wipe enough off. Now, Ovechkin himself looks awesome. I really like that he's kind of outlined in this kind of sketch material that does look good. It kind of matches the white jersey, the white uniform, the socks and everything, the helmet. He's crisp. That photo is 100% in focus. It looks really good. I love the logo in the background there. Number 9, the Flyers. This one's pretty cool. The quality of the photo, again, kind of suffers a little bit, but I kind of like the concept in the background. You got like a bit of a motion blur in the background with sharing the exact colors of the team. That's really awesome. Maybe looks like the background is the texture of ice. I can kind of see some skate marks or something, but again, it's a little bit pixelated, so I'd watch that. Number 8, the Islanders. This one's pretty good. You can kind of see this like almost like brush strokes or something. It's very artsy, artistic kind of feeling in the background, almost like feathers maybe or something. So that's not really applicable to the team in any form or fashion, but the colors and just the stylization of the background looks pretty good in my opinion. The only thing I didn't like was the player coming in behind the text. I would have liked to see maybe him being in front of it and the playoffs being a little bit smaller or something. It's kind of clashing with his face because that is the focal point, his face, his celebration. Also, he's a bit blurry as well. Number 7, I put the Arizona Coyotes. I really like this one, or the concept of this one, but they look like ghosts. So I think the font being a little bit transparent is okay, seeing that kind of the brick in the background. Totally fine with that. The font that you used looks like spray paint or graffiti. So brilliant there. I love that you chose that font, even though it is a bit hard to read. It totally makes sense for the concept you're going for. But the players themselves being transparent a little bit and seeing the brick through the background, it doesn't really make sense. And the goalie makes sense on there. Brick wall stopping everything, but the player on there feels maybe a little bit out of place, but it's not too bad. Just maybe make those players not transparent. Number 6, the Boston Bruins. Like the how clean this one is. There's not really a lot going on in the background. You got a bee that's very subtle, that has an outer glow in the background. That's just kind of it's just transparent just a little bit. But then the main focus is the two players, Patrice Bergeron and Marchand in the front, with a yellow glow of their or gold, glow of their own, and the font along the bottom. Pretty simple, pretty good. Number 5, the Colorado Avalanche. Really, the only gripe I have here is the text. It looks like the texture around it's just not clean. Like it looks pixelated around the font. So I would try and clean that up a little bit. Maybe use something that's a little bit more sharp or a little bit more like I want to see lines go straight down or even at a diagonal. I don't want to see like line come down like this, kind of like jaggedy. I'm being really nitpicky here, but I love the concept in general. The bottom kind of looks like the almost the bottom of the jersey in a way with the blue or the shape of the mountains, and then the blue along the bottom for one of the colors that they use, and then that awesome C logo in the background. I love that, and then the top being the actual burgundy, which looks good, and then the numbers in the background. They're not the main focus, and I love the fact that you can barely see them, but you still know what it is. It's 2020. It's the playoffs, so I really like that. Number 4, the Columbus Blue Jackets. This one's pretty awesome. I love the expressions on the goalies. One's just kind of celebrating, the other one's making a save. And you got Jones in the middle there coming out. He looks a little bit soft, a little bit pixelated maybe. But I really like how everything's kind of contained at the bottom. They're almost sitting on the Ohio State flag and bending it down a little bit. And you can see the skyline in the background as well, just silhouetted, which is fantastic. And then behind them is just a grayscale version of some of the graphics that they use, including the Canon logo, which is fantastic. So I really like the contrast or the difference between monochrome or black and white on the top, split in the middle by color, and then full color along the bottom. I really like this, hence it being in my top 5. Number 3, the Vancouver Canucks. I like the grunginess of this one. I like all the colors of the team are here, and in your face kind of colors. The top is green, the middle is white, and then the bottom is blue, all in this almost like paintbrush kind of grungy style to it. The 2020 font does have a bit of a gradient to it, and I think that's pretty cool. I actually don't mind his shoulder being in the background, Bo Horvat's shoulder being in the background, because it's not his face. His face is off to the right of the text there. So there's no clashing going on. His shoulder is really insignificant. It's his face that matters. Everyone, that's the focal point. So I like that it's not hidden. The playoffs font is a little hard to read. Maybe fix that up a bit, but overall, really like it. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Lightning. So this one is it's kind of like the Boston one a little bit. It's just super simple. I love the kind of neon effect that's going on here with the logo that's had, the innards or the fill has been completely been taken away, and you just have the outer glow left, which makes the shape of the logo. It's fantastic. It looks like a neon sign or something. The font up above, a little hard to read, but it does have this like Tron kind of feel. So I quite like that. And then you got the bolts in the background. I would be careful with the bolts font. It looks like you made it and like rasterized it and then made it bigger. So that's why you get like the jaggedness along the edge. So other than that, I really like it. I mean, Vasilevsky looks pretty cool there. I love the pose that he's got going on. Great job. And number 1, so I mean, I did a jersey concept ranking video the other week, and I ranked my favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, first, and it was the first time I've ever ranked the Canadiens first in everything. And I guess here I am ranking my own team again first, but I don't think that I'll get too much criticism from this, because this one is very well done. Regardless of who you cheer for, I think you'll probably like this one. Kind of like the Vancouver one. The big splashes of color, the red, the white, and the blue along the bottom. This time it's a little bit more like paint splatter. If you took a paintbrush and went like this, and it kind of splattered out, and it kind of bleeds off into one another. So I really, really like that. I am not a fan of the font, though. The font that was chosen, I'm not really a fan of. And then the images chosen are very high quality. Carey Price in the middle. He's sharp and crisp. He's got a little bit of a drop shadow on him. And then Jeff Petrie off to the right. That photo looks good, and it looks like it's been cut out very well. And then Kotkaniemi off to the left, and that's been cut out very well. So all of the little details here are done correctly. Not really much to complain here other than the text at the top. And I know Yoni's not very old, so the fact that he was able to pull off all these 16 ones was pretty impressive. So you should definitely be proud of yourself, and it was a lot of fun going through and looking at these. So thanks, guys, for watching. I really appreciate it. I would love it if you could let me know down below which one was your favorite, and if you have any interest in seeing more wallpapers in the future, let me know, and I'll maybe reach out to some of the designers that I've kind of reviewed. I've had a lot of designers email me jersey concepts, so I have definitely a good address book of people I could reach out to. If you guys are interested, I might be able to see if one of them is interested in making some wallpapers, and I can kind of review those as I did here. So a lot of fun to talk hockey, a lot of fun just to kind of do a lighthearted video like this and look at something not so serious like playoff talk or trades or whatever. It's always nice to have a little bit of lighthearted fun. So thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate it. We'd love it if you could hit the subscribe button down below to catch future videos like this, and I'll catch you in those future videos. Adios.